Good afternoon, members of the Commission. I'm John Flynn, Vice President of Dean & Flynn, doing business as Fiesta Shows, here before you today to request permission for the annual fundraising event for the Trifoni McCarthy Recreation Committee over at the Cinema Complex.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Well, yes, obviously we have a lot of questions. Just for the viewing audience, I guess we're taking this out of order. This was item number 4, so we're taking it out of order. We know we had, I guess it was one incident that we had there at the last carnival. And since then, I guess we haven't really been able to identify where the problem really came from, whether it would have been the Showcase Cinema or the carnival itself. That being said, since then, there's been another incident at the Showcase Cinema, which we addressed and I'm sure has been taken care of, and the carnival was not present at the time. So therefore, it leaves me up in the air, certainly concerned about any large venue that comes into our city like that and attracts a lot of patrons. On the other hand, it's very hard for me to judge as to whose problem this really was at the time of that incident. So, I mean, I have a lot of concerns going forward with this vote this evening. I guess my concerns are, at the time, whether it be you or the Showcase Cinema, there were video cameras around, not clear enough. I understand that's going to be corrected by the theater on their behalf. But I don't think it's still going to help out with the carnival in that area and the lighting in that area. So I guess I have, I know someone just gave it to me. I apologize, I was a little late tonight, so I haven't been able to go over some of these issues. But I had a couple of things that I just would like to, address before I consider this vote. And that would be, obviously, security, and I know that evening you did have security there. The other issue I have is the cameras, video. It didn't seem like you had enough video there that we could really tell who was coming and going from that area. Mm-hmm. And I think on your behalf, I see, and which I'm very happy about, Kelly's Roast Beef on Revere Beach has a smile, you're on candid camera. And they have cameras up right where people are eating. So it kind of warns anybody that does want to enter and not enjoy the festivities there that, they're not welcome and they will be on video. The other issue in that parking lot, I know, and I think I've spoke with the Chief of Police on this, in that parking lot, it is open all night, and I was just wondering if there was some way that they could even put a gate on the entrance after the 3 o'clock. I guess there's some issues with that. God forbid there was a fire, the fire apparatus maybe wouldn't be able to get through. And because I will say in that area, it's very hard to blame one particular person unless we have videos, because the lot is open. Kids do seem to congregate there after the theater closes. And of course, I know when you're there, I think some people stay right on the premises. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, they do.
So they have the trailers set up there, and there are people
correct
on the premises at that time.
And, we have the chief here. You want to let him talk about the security stuff?
I am going to. And, like I said, my security, the other thing is the lighting of the area, and maybe the more of security. I know they're inside, but more of the security on the outside also.
In the parking lot area.
Between the parking lot. I see most of them are inside the carnival, which is great, but I think outside. So I think, that being said, I did get this list, and I believe it's from, is it the Chief of Police? Yes, the Chief of Police. So I'd just like to hear what his take is on this and how he feels going forward. And of course, my colleagues have anything else they want to say before we hear from the police chief?
No, I'd like to hear from the chief before. Great. Thank you,
Good afternoon, Commissioners. First of all, I'd like to state that I've been on the job over 30 years, And all 30 of those years, I worked at the carnival before I was chief. I became sergeant, lieutenant. I ran the detail office. The carnival has always responded favorably to every request the police department has had. Last year, we called them up at the 11th hour and asked them to put signs up, no backpacks, subject to search. And the owners of the carnival had the signs up in like 8 hours. I've had negotiations with the owners of the carnival. I knew this would be an issue going forward after what happened last year. And I'm still not convinced that that incident was because of the carnival. The carnival and the showcase share the same law. We were never able to determine the exact cause, if it was due to the carnival or the show. But I will say that night, the crowd at the carnival was family-oriented, and I personally don't think that the people that fired the shots in the parking lot were patrons of the carnival, but we'll never know for sure. But let me speak about going forward. The carnival's agreed to have the number of details determined by the police department, me or my designee, which they've always have never refused us when we thought we should have extra officers. Fiesta Shows has agreed to install cameras at the carnival entrance facing the crowd coming in and on the back side of the entrance facing the carnival itself. Fiesta Shows has agreed to any signage requested by the Revere Police Department, and one of those signs will be the grounds are recorded. We'll give people pre-notice. Hopefully it'll prevent any fight or any incident. People know they're recorded. Fiesta Shows agrees to hire extra patrols for the parking lot when deemed necessary on nights when the carnival attracts a larger crowd than normal, which would be the night before Good Friday. Sometimes we get exceptionally warm weather in the middle of April. The weather shoots up to 80 degrees. The whole world wants to come to the carnival. So we would put officers to do traffic control and to patrol the parking lot. They've agreed to hire officers when necessary for traffic control. The department, the Revere Police Department, we have quick deploy cameras. We're going to set them up at the entrance and exit of the carnival during the whole period the carnival's there. And we'll be able to record all the plates going in and cars going in and going out if there is an incident, which we didn't have last time. Also, we're working with a vendor. They have a new license plate reader that can be stationary, not on a police car. And they're going to use the Carnival Week as a test. And we'll set that up, and it'll scan all the license plates. The Carnival's agreed the highest-ranking police officer assigned to the Carnival duty will have the right to limit the number of patrons that are allowed to enter the Carnival, which we've already done in the past. And we consulted, and we decided when enough is enough. And we set up a system for every 10 that go out, we let 10 more in. So there would be a line. And then this year, we'll even probably tell half the line, go home, you're not going to get in, instead of having them hang around the carnival the couple of nights that it gets very busy. The carnival's agreed to have a few more handheld metal detectors that we can use when needed based on the crowd. The police department has the right to search backpacks at any time. We have officers at the gate, and we always have officers inside the carnival. And on the busy nights, we'll have an officer out in the parking lot so people aren't hanging around their cars and getting into mischief. And we're going to coordinate with Fiesta Shows what nights they should have the wristbands and what hours we should cut the wristbands off, because those are one of the reasons we get the large crowds. So those should really be for the nights when less people would come to the carnival and attract business versus a night when the business is already coming to the carnival. So they're in full agreement to all of these conditions, and I think they do a great thing for the youth organizations. The president of the McCarthy Foundation is here, and I know the carnival can be a nuisance to the business in the area and to some of the people, but the good far outweighs the bad, and I think their license should be renewed.
Chief,
So if you have any other questions.
Yeah, are you comfortable that these address the issues from what you've
Yes.
seen over the 30 years at the carnival?
Yes, we've had, a couple of fights. The officers at the gate know all the players. If gang kids come in, We check, we don't let them have backpacks, make them take their hats off. Then we follow them around. We don't harass them, but we want to make sure there's no problems. But I just want to emphasize one more thing, and people might laugh at this, but there's a lot of people who go to the carnival with their little kids, and they're never going to have a chance to go to Disney World. They just can't afford it. And that is their Disney World. If you go to the carnival on Easter Sunday and see all the families that go there with their kids, we've had some problems at night with older youths, but for the most part, the carnival's a family-oriented event.
Well, I think you're correct on that, and I think that's what this board is concerned about, the family that want to go and enjoy it and feel safe.
I agree.
Just one thing for clarification, I know I know that Fiesta does pick up the cost, but you say we're going to put up cameras. I just want to make it clear, that's not an expense to the city, that is an expense.
We have our own cameras that we can quick deploy, like for Sandcastle, any big event. And Fiesta, at their own expense, is going to put their own cameras up that can record for 30 days, save the
Okay,
recordings.
but not an expense to us.
No,
the
maybe,
city- Right, but I would want Fiesta to pick up
right.
that fee,
It's
not
just a
that the
matter
city.
of an officer goes out and puts the camera up. I'm sure they'll add it
Okay.
in the detail.
And the other thing too, Chief, that I noticed when I went there was the parking. It seems like the parking, and I could be wrong, but I mean, I just think it gives it a little more open space. Seems like the parking cars park right up to the carnival. I mean, I think they should be backed up a good 10 feet.
I don't mean to interrupt. I'm glad you brought that up. I missed that point. Fiesta Shows agrees to have traffic cones and portable traffic sawhorses available when needed to control traffic and the crowd. That's one of the things that I've asked for last year. If we had cones, we would have been able to
Right.
cone
And-
off an area so people could line up and there'd be no cars interacting with the people in line.
Well, that's
for the
why I feel
carnival.
like even if you have the 10-feet buffer there to the
Right.
carnival, you could always bring cruisers in there, which of course could block the patrons who
agree.
are in the carnival at the time. And you're right, absolutely. People do want to go there to enjoy there with the families, and I know this board wants to make sure that they can go and have a safe, pleasant day also.
And I also want to express, the carnival doesn't want any problems either. This is their livelihood and their business. They do Topsfield Fair. And I would say over the 30 years the carnival's been here, we've had it down the beach, we've had it at Suffolk Downs. I think it's gone relatively well. With the police have always done a good job. We've always had a great relationship with the owners, and we've always addressed any problems that arise. And I
Yeah.
look forward to
Well,
that
unfortunately, it's
continuing.
just the times. I'm not blaming any establishment. I'm not blaming the theater, but it is the times. Theaters run a beautiful place. They keep it clean, they have security, but things do happen. So the more we have in place, the more comfortable I feel for the people that do just want to go out and have a nice evening at the carnival.
I agree.
So, the only thing, Chief, is a few years ago, there was a policeman that was in there was an altercation where
That was me.
they were jumping on you.
Me, Sergeant
Okay.
Callahan. That's the nature today.
So-
We go to do our job and everyone jumps in.
Yeah. 'Cause
That's everywhere, every
I felt
call,
bad for
not
the
just
police
the
officer.
carnival.
So, the number of detail that night was what?
I think we had 6 guys. We had more than enough details.
Right,
And
so it wasn't a
also, we
detail
have our
issue.
radio in a second. We can have 20 more officers there.
Now, the hours, 11, it's always been 11 o'clock?
Well, that's another thing. The hours, even though they're allowed to stay open till 11, almost all the weeknights, we're out of there by 10.
Okay.
Once in a while, you get an exceptionally warm night, and if the crowd's a family-oriented crowd, no troublemakers, they'll stay open till 11. And then on the weekends, usually no later than 11. It depends on the weather,
Sure.
the crowd, and we all know when the carnival comes, the rain comes. So out of 3 weeks, they might lose over a week and a half of business. So when they do get a couple of good days, they try to take advantage of it, which also helps the organizations that they're raising the money for, because the money from the carnival, I don't know what the breakdown is, but I know it's very helpful to those organizations.
Yeah, because I'm glad you're here, because I know in the past, I don't remember the police being here representing the carnival, because I defer
Well,
to you
I'm
guys.
representing the city, and I told the carnival I had concerns, and I've been in negotiations with them.
Correct.
Because I had my own concerns, and they've addressed them all.
Good.
They've agreed to everything that I've asked for, so
And that's
I
important
said
to
I
me,
would come
that
up here today.
That you guys, that you're bringing that information to us, because this is the first time since I've been, since, this has been coming up, that you guys are present and you're presenting all, and you're in negotiations, and that type of detail, so glad you're
Well,
here.
the mayor, showed his concern too.
Correct.
We discussed this at great length, and he wanted to be comfortable with renewing their license, and I think they deserve another shot.
Thank you, Chief. Are there any other questions or comments that you have of the chief?
No,
Thank you
I have
very
no
much,
other
Chief.
comments.
Thank you, Chairman.
We'll close this part of the meeting. Are there any proponents that would like to speak on behalf of the carnival?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Name and address for
My
the
name
record,
is
please.
Jane D'Angelo, 387 Prospect Place, Revere, Mass., President of the McCarthy-Trafone Recreation Committee. We've been running this carnival I've been on the board for at least 30 years, working very closely with the police and the fiesta shows. What they do for us is they give us a percentage of whatever proceeds they make. I don't, off the top of my head, can't give you a breakdown. Last year, we were able to donate $64,000 to the youth organizations such as the hockey, baseball, football, and, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm a little nervous, I'm not a public speaker.
Thank you.
And, I just feel if you don't allow the carnival to come, unfortunately, it is our times. We have to look out for our safety everywhere we go. But the good that comes from this carnival far outweighs an incident or two for over the 30 years. The money that we give to these organizations, and we have two representatives here today because we feel so strongly, we have to take these kids off the street. We have to let them play sports. Where is this money going to come from if we don't have $10,000 to give to hockey and subsidize these programs? So I guess that's all I really have to say. Just consider that what we do and what the Fiesta Shows does for the city, again, far outweighs a couple of bad apples. Thank you.
Well, I have to tell you, if it weren't for what they donate to you people, I don't think they'd even be before this board. That's the only reason I take it into consideration.
Well, thank you for considering it.
Thank you very much. Are there any other proponents?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Joe DeSantis, and I live at 27 Ann Row, Revere, and I'm the president of Revere Youth Hockey. And I've been involved with the program for over 20 years. And each year, the McCarthy-Trafone Fund has donated money to the program. With the money, we scholarship a lot of the kids, especially the way that, the demographics are of the city now, so we can really use the money that we've been scholarshiping a lot of kids. We're probably one of the only programs in the state that actually, for our Learn to Skate program, with the money that's donated to us, we provide skates and helmets to every kid that signs up. So it's usually between 50 to 60 kids. So they get free helmets, they get free skates, gloves, and everything. So it's definitely a big deal for us every year. We look for that check, so we appreciate your time and everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Joe, a quick question. Now, I know the Revere you're talking is combined with multiple cities. Does that money go to all the kids or just
It goes
the city
to
of
everybody.
Revere, even outside?
Goes
of
to
Revere?
everybody, whoever's part of the program.
Okay.
Doesn't matter where they live. So right now, we merged with Everett, and because of, again, the demographics of the city, we're probably going to be merging with Malden and East Boston. So the money's definitely well earned, that we really need it, so. And they've been great with it, so no matter what, they always come through for us. And then we're able, again, to scholarship a lot of families that can't afford to do it, so. Even the Learn to Skate program isn't just for kids to learn to play hockey, it's just learning to skate. So anybody who wants to come skate, you know, again, we're giving them helmets and skates. And the helmets alone and the skates alone are more than what we're charging for the kids to skate. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Hi there.
Yes, name and address for the record, please.
Brianna Roderick, Vice President of Revere Pop Warner.
Great.
This organization is very good to us. This year, I think we got a $12,000 check from them. Like Revere Youth Hockey said, we were able to, you know, have a bunch of kids play for nothing. So we're able to, you know, refurbish our equipment to Pop Warner standards, and this goes for football players and cheerleaders. And this year was a banner year for us. We had, you know, the most football player and cheerleader signups from the time that I've been on the board, which is 3 years. They're very good to us. We look for that check as well every year, and, you know, I can't say enough good about them. And the city can't live in fear that, you know, something bad's gonna happen at the carnival. The good does outweigh the bad, and we support them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do any fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have no other comments. No.
Are there any other proponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the meeting. Are there any opponents? Anyone opposed? Yes, ma'am, your name and address for the record,
Why are
please.
you standing here? Are you an opponent? Are you an opponent? No. Oh, well, then why don't you sit down? My name is Evelyn Morris. I live at 23 Fairfield Street in Revere. I don't know why I have this man standing next to me while I'm speaking.
Yes, please.
Thank you. I'm sick of the carnival. I'm sick of driving up there and saying, oh my God, here is the carnival again. I know it does good things, but it looks trashy. And I just came through that intersection just now and remembered I had to come to this meeting. I loved Revere Beach. I loved the rides on Revere Beach. I like the castles. I would like to have more rides down at the castles, frankly. I almost think Fiesta should be down there adding to the castles. I'm sick of it. I turn on my police radio and I hear trouble at the carnival, and I hear the engines or the sirens going, and I'm sort of upset that the poor chief has to come up here and make all these arrangements for this company. Why doesn't this company go to, let's say, Andover? A lot of room up there, a lot of money up there also. I don't want the carnival anymore. Revere's trying to pull itself up. The carnival, 3 weeks a year, it seems to get longer every year, seems to try to pull us down. People go through Route 1, they look over at the movie theater, that's nice. They see the carnival, they say, well, we must be going through Revere. I am really tired of it. And you know how much tired? There's people watching right now who are in their chairs, who are cooking supper, and they're saying, she's right. Do we have to have the carnival every single year? I think I represent other people, but I had to come. I am sick of the carnival. Questions?
Ma'am?
Evelyn?
Commissioner has a
So-
question for you.
I understand your frustration, but did you, other than just being sick, is there a specific reason other than the perception that it
The
brings down the
idea
city?
that the police have to try to get up Squire Road, down Washington Avenue, there's always a problem. We'll never forget the night I turned on my police radio and there was a chain gang fight. Now, that was a long time ago, a chain gang fight. And I said, what is going on up there? I know there's little kids who like to go on rides. I understand that. We all like to go on rides. But it just seems that all this work that the police have to do to make arrangements for the hours when we let people in, going through the metal detector. Is this a carnival, or is it like a prison they're going into? I just feel it's a lot of work, maybe city resources being used, although I hope they pay for the details and so forth, and I'm happy when the policemen have extra details. But I just think the look of the carnival is a little passé now. Do we want the carnival or Amazon? What do we want in this city?
That's a good point. Chief, can you address some of those concerns she had? I'm curious to hear your feedback on what she just addressed. of this being a kind of a nuisance, is that correct?
Well, it is a nuisance, but like I said, the good outweighs the bad. As far as the expense, the carnival pays all the expenses for any police that are down at the carnival. And they've addressed some more concerns. As far as the metal detectors go, everywhere you go to, there's metal detectors. That's where this world's headed. That's not because of the carnival. We do that we don't want weapons in there, so everyone's at the gate, we check them once they're in the carnival. And I'll also add, many years ago, it was at my insistence that the carnival used to be wide open, and now it's completely corralled in, and you have to go in a gate. And they added the $1 fee at the gate to pay for the security. So the carnival has changed with the times. And it is a nuisance, but I think we can deal with it. And we didn't have, Lieutenant Randall works here also. I don't think we had more than a couple of fights there last year. Maybe once we had to have extra cruisers respond there. As far as the night with the shots fired, that was a whole social media. That just spiraled out of control. That was not in the carnival. Parents were rushing down there. That was all misinformation. And everyone was leaving the carnival, and it caused chaos, all after the fact. So.
But I think her concerns are, legitimate. I mean, I have the same concerns as her. And one of the biggest concerns, and I do want that clarified, that this is, everything that you've said here is no expense to our city.
No. The carnival
Okay, that's why I was
assumes
trying to
all the
clear that up, because
security costs.
it was just that you were saying, we're going to put this up, we're going to put that, well, we're not.
Well, the one camera we're putting
Fest-
up, that's the police department's camera. I want to put that up.
But that's on your detail, your
Right.
time, right. But any expenses for cameras that Festus has up in there, Fiesta has up in there?
No, they're paying for,
That's
that's
all at
all
their-
in the agreement.
Everything is at their expense.
And if we didn't come to terms, I'd be here opposing the carnival.
And and every detail officer that goes there or shows up is paid
Every single one.
through the carnival.
Fiesta shows, yes,
Okay.
which is quite costly. But they know
Well,
that's
that's great,
a part
whatever
of
you
doing
guys do,
business.
but not on tax
No,
dollars.
I'm saying there's a lot of officers, and there's there's a fire detail there.
Right,
So if someone, God forbid, they get hurt, there's a fireman right on the scene.
right. But I mean, I just wanted to make that clear, that we don't hire you people to watch the carnival. And I will say, by the previous speaker also, we do have at night 2 o'clock closings that we don't get paid for, and I think that's an issue that, someone should look into when we have to send them to after-hours
No, it's
places.
not at the bars.
No, I'm talking about other incidents. We go to after-hours places, and these police, they may have 3, 4 cruisers trying to clear the crowd out, and they've got metal detectors, and that's at our cost, taxpayers' cost. And I feel like, I don't want to get into anything here, but I feel like when we have to do that for certain establishments, they should pay for that time.
Okay,
Thank you, Chief.
thank you, Commissioner.
Ma'am, have we addressed your concerns? Do you have anything
I
else that
still
you'd like
feel,
to say?
I still feel the perception of the carnival in Revere should be something that's winnowing away, and we should be moving in another direction.
Okay, thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jimmy Guido.
Are there any other opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the meeting. Is there a motion to,
Before, I got one quick question for John. John, 1 second. I don't want to drag this on any further.
Yes.
So was there ever an economic study on what, outside of what you pay for the city for rent and licenses, of the economic impact of the city businesses around that area? Do you have any idea what?
Well, the only thing I can comment on, and it isn't there anymore, there was a Dunkin' Donuts
Yeah.
that has since moved from there, but I remember the manager used to come over and he used to say, "I love it when you come here because my business goes up 40%. But that was a Dunkin' Donuts that
Correct.
was there. In terms of an economic study of outlying businesses, nothing that I'm aware of has been done.
Okay, thank you.
But I would think because of the people coming there, that the adjacent businesses and restaurants in that area probably see an increase in business.
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve this?
Can't hear you, Mike.
Is there a motion to approve this?
You're looking at just me?
Yes, I'm looking at you to make, you want to second the motion?
Well, there was a motion.
Yes, I'll make a motion.
Oh,
to
you're making a
approve
motion, I'm
this. Yes.
sorry. I thought you were asking me if I was going to make a
No,
motion.
that's fine. I'll make a motion to
apologize.
approve the carnival license.
So, you know, perception, she makes a valid point. Perception is an issue. Perception is reality these days, unfortunately. But, and you make a good points. However, from my perspective, one voice doesn't talk for everybody. It'd be nice if you had a following next time. It's nice. I mean, the Fiesta have some support people here. I know it's work. So, and I understand this. I'm sure there's a lot of people at home who, are reluctant to support the carnival. However, for 30 years they've been coming here. There's incidences here and there. I get it. But now having the police chief really involved and really, spending time to get here helps me in feeling a little bit better that there is systems in place, they're fully ingrained and so forth and so on. So based on, from what I'm hearing and the benefits that it gives the programs in the city and the limited number of events, negative events that happen outside of perception, I'll have to second that motion and approve the Fiesta show.
Would you like to vote on that?
No, I would like to be recorded as being present, please.
Very good. The application for a carnival license for Fiesta shows of 15 Pine Street, Seabrook, New Hampshire. John Flynn, manager. For a carnival license to be exercised at the Showcase Cinema parking lot, 565 Squire Road, Revere, Mass. From March 21st, 2017 through April 15th, 2017, with requested hours of operation being Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. is approved.
Excuse me, just one more question. I know you proved it. What time is the music go off at the
Traditionally,
carnival?
9 o'clock.
Are we staying with that 9 o'clock?
Yes, we turn down the amplified systems at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Your license is approved.
Thank you, members of the commission. Thank you very much.
We're going to return to the regular order of business. Item number 1, Sabor Peruvian Fusion, Inc., 744 Broadway, Luis Apolania, manager. This is an application for a change of hours. Application for Sabor Peruvian Fusion, Inc., 744 Broadway, for a change of hours on Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. The current hours are 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Luis Apolaya. I'm from Sabor Peruvian Fusion, the 744 on Broadway in Revere. And that's what my request, exactly you say. I would like to open it for lunchtime, Monday to Thursday, from 12 to 9 o'clock. And the other hours will remain the same.
Very good. Do you have any questions? It's a food place. It's on Broadway. It's the corner of Revere Street, where the old Revere aluminum was. Right, that's what it is. You're welcome. Do you have any, my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Reason for the change of hours? Just to-
Well, customer request, we start, they asking for lunchtime right now, so that's why.
I'm surprised you were not open this early previously.
Well,
I'm fine with it.
Okay. So I guess you're going to keep the menu the same? You're going to do the exact same thing?
Same.
Except you're going to be serving lunch now?
same thing, yes, exactly.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, and you're the president of the corporation?
Yes.
You are, okay.
I'll make a motion to change the hours from 3 to 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is approved for an application for a change of hours for Sabor Peruvian Fusion, Inc., 744 Broadway, for a change of hours on Monday through Thursday to 12 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Thank
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Item number 2, Uno Restaurants LLC, DBA Uno Chicago Grill, 210 Squire Road, Nancy Perry, manager. This is an application for a change of manager from Joshua Wallace to Nancy Perry.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Nancy Perry, 25 Railroad Ave, Swampscott, Mass.
Very good. And are there any questions from my fellow commissioners?
Have you been working there? Are you presently an employee here?
Yes, I'm presently an employee of the Revere Uno's. I was previously the manager over in Swampscott where the liquor license was in my name, and I believe that they're just doing a transfer over.
Okay, and how long have you been there?
At Revere?
In Revere location?
I've been there for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay, and what are your hours? You have, one in Swampscott and one in Revere, is that what you said?
I am the manager in Revere currently, yes.
Just Revere?
Yes.
So what will your hours be there?
The hours of operation are from, excuse
No, your
me,
time, how many hours do you put in at this location?
about 60.
About 16?
60.
60, okay.
I wish it was 16.
That's a little, I have a little cold, I'm
So do
sorry.
I, ma'am. So do I.
Okay, so you're very familiar with the business, then?
Oh,
You're
yes.
familiar with Revere?
Oh,
Okay.
yes. And I've also trained there twice in the past, and I've also filled in there. I've worked there for a period of maybe a total of 9 months over the past few years. So I'm very familiar with Revere.
Okay, so then you're there probably at closing time?
Usually, yes.
Okay. Okay, I have no other questions.
No question.
Very good. Is there a motion to?
I'll make a
Any
motion
opponents?
to approve.
Are there any opponents?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, I have to do a little formality before we vote on this.
Certainly.
I will close this part of the meeting. Are there any proponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the meeting. Are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the meeting. Do I have a motion to vote on?
I'll make a motion to approve the change of manager at Uno's from Josh Wallace to Nancy Perry.
I'll second the motion.
That's unanimous. The motion is approved for a application of Uno Restaurants LLC, 210 Squire Road, for a change of manager from Joshua Wallace to Nancy Perry. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Item number 3, Revere Lodge number 1171 of the BPOE of USA, Inc., 198 Shirley Ave, James Hannon, manager. This is an application for a pool table license. For one pool table to be exercised at their location at 198 Shirley Avenue. Your name and address for the record, please, sir.
James Hannon, 111 Centennial Ave, Revere, Massachusetts.
Thank you very much, sir. And what are your plans here for this pool table?
The members have shown interest in it, and we sent letters out to the neighbors, and I talked to a few of the neighbors. They don't seem to have no problem with it. Yeah, just for the members to play pool.
Very good. Is this going to be a coin-operated pool table?
No.
Or is it going to be pockets with the balls in it? How's that going to work?
When members come up and they want to play pool, they give the bartender their membership card, and then they get the balls.
Okay, very good. So the bartender's going to control the balls and the sticks?
No, the sticks are up on the wall.
Sticks are on the wall. The bartender's going to have the balls behind the bar?
Yes.
Very good. Are there any questions from my fellow commissioners?
I have no questions. I guess the boys just want something to do.
Yeah, So these are members only, it's not outside, it's membership only.
Members can bring in a guest, but yeah, they have to be with a member.
Okay.
But in the past, you've always had a pool table
We haven't.
for many years, and you,
Yeah, we
let
just
it go.
let it go, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no questions.
Very good. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Well, I'll second the motion.
The motion is carried unanimously. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I can do that, I need to check for opponents and proponents. I'm very sorry, sir. Are there any proponents? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close that part of the meeting. Are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the meeting. We had a motion. The motion has been approved and is unanimous for a pool table at the
Thank you very
Elks
much.
to be exercised at 198 Shirley Avenue. The license for a pool table is approved. Thank you very much, sir. Item number 5. This would be an application for a transfer of a malt wine package store license. The application of Nishta LLC, DBA The Breadbasket Discount Store, 535 Broadway, Revere, Mass. Mayuri Patel, manager, for transfer of the malt wine package store license from Sharad Shah, and the said license will be exercised at the same location. Your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Hirak Shah. I live at 38 Concord Street in Wilmington, Mass., and I helped prepare the application for Nishta LLC. And with me here is Bhavin Kumar Patel, and if you want to give your address.
My address is 1123 Revere Beach Parkway, Revere.
Okay, sir, thank you.
And Mr. Patel is one of the LLC members of Nishta. He is the cousin of the manager, Mayuri Patel.
Very good. And did you say, I'm sorry, so your name was?
Hirak Shah, Hirak, and last name is Shah.
So are you the current license holder of this?
That's my father, Sharad Shah, who is still supervising at Breadbasket as we're trying to get the transfer of the license.
Very good.
So the license is in your name now, is that correct?
The license is in my father's name, Sharad.
And your father's not present?
He wasn't able to attend, but since I was preparing the application, that's why I came here.
Okay. I have to say, I like both parties here when I make a vote.
Oh, sure.
And we just recently had another vote, and it always seems like the other party ends up having a question as to why it was transferred without them here. And I know you've signed the papers, and I know you've come up here. I personally like both parties here. If somebody is taking a license from someone else, I would prefer them in front of me, even though they signed the papers. There are questions to be asked. We did vote on one last month, and I will go over that with my colleagues kind of late because we've already transferred that license.
Oh, sure, and I apologize for that, Madam Commissioner. We were here last year as well when we were trying to transfer this license, but the ABCC had sent back the application because they said that because Mr. Bhavin Patel was a permanent resident and Mayuri Patel was a U.S. citizen, that the way that the application should be transferred was they would need to form an LLC. So that's why we had to redo the application as a LLC. So that's why everything else is remaining the same. But I do apologize and appreciate the reason that you gave.
Well, it just makes it hard because, the thing is, someone comes up and says, I'm transferring a license, you're taking a license from someone and putting it in his name. Although, like I say, I have all the paperwork. I do like to hear from both parties, so there's never a question about it.
Right, completely understandable.
Were you aware that the current license holder should be here, or no?
We were trying to see if he was able to make it, but he wasn't. But we also kind of figured that because nothing else in the application was changing, and it was similar to what this board had passed last year, that it would be okay.
Yeah. See, the concern is like last time, I mean,
Yeah.
he signed off on it and everything, we understand that.
Sure.
But we don't, without him or her being here.
Yeah.
We, other than a signature, we don't know. Maybe they didn't really want to sign off, maybe, that kind of thing. So having them physically here, that's our rationale. Correct me if I'm wrong, Linda. But I think that's my rationale, making sure that not only that he signs off, on paper, but also in person that.
I can, personally attest to that he is, completely on board and has no reservations.
No, I get that,
Yeah.
and I get that, but it's just verbal stuff. I get it, and I'm not sure, I'm not saying you're not being upfront, and I get all that. But again, at the end of the day, it's having that person here that we can verbally see and make it accountable.
Sure.
Just to cover ourselves, because who knows? Who knows, a lot of stuff happens in this world. Who really knows, other than a signature on a piece of paper, if he really wanted to transfer that license? And the guess is he is, but again, having him here is important.
Right, and I mean, in addition, because while my father is still currently supervising at the store because his license is under his name, the rest of the operation of the store has been sold to Mr. Patel and Mayuri Patel. So that's why he's okay with it.
So
because
it's your father?
Yeah, he is my father. Yes.
All right.
Excuse me, sir, the gentleman standing beside you, is that Bhavik Kumar Patel?
It is, yes.
Now, he is going to be retaining 95% of the ownership of this,
He is, yes, as part of he owns 95% of the LLC.
and I'm looking for experience in dealing with alcohol establishments, and I see none.
For Mr.
Yes.
Patel, he he ran some establishments for family members down in North Carolina for a little bit of time before moving up to Massachusetts.
May I ask you, sir, does he have any other licenses at the present time in the city?
Yes, he has a business license. He has the lottery license, as well as the cigarette license.
I mean, as alcohol, I'm sorry. Alcohol licenses at any other establishments in the city?
No.
Okay.
As far as training for alcohol sales and service, has he been any type of training with this, or is he aware of his alcohol? Sir, can you tell me some of the training that you've had dealing with alcohol and alcohol sales?
Yes, I can experience for in the North Carolina in my cousin's store.
North Carolina?
Yeah, in our town, his name is Rockingham.
I think we have different rules and regulations, though, in each state.
I would also like to add that he's also while we're in the process of getting the license transferred, my father has been training him as well, because he's had the liquor license for about 2 years while operating bread baskets. So
It's just about 2 years.
Yep.
And I guess my concern is, we have had violations at that establishment also.
There
It's been
wasn't.
2 in 2 years.
Right, I think my father has handled those and learned from them. He's been cognizant and been training Mr. Patel and Mayuri Patel as well, who's going to be the manager at the store, in making sure that they avoid any of the mistakes that he had made.
Do you have power of attorney over your dad?
just within this
Within
case.
anything? Like, do you have any authority to sign on his behalf or make decisions on his behalf? Do you have any written legal authority, you yourself?
Oh, not within myself, but just within just the application, because he.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I would, other than for any other related decisions, I still, live at home and everything, so I'm able to consult with him
Gotcha,
and whatnot.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? I have no other questions. Thank you very much, sir. I will close this part of the meeting. Are there any proponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the meeting. Are there any opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that part of the meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So, let me, a quick question here. So, right now, this is what, a convenience store? They sell
Yes.
beer and wine?
It's a breadbasket convenience store, just
Where
on
is
a.
it? And where on Broadway is it?
585 Broadway, right across from the mobile gas station.
Oh, over there. Oh, okay, yeah, right over there.
The
okay.
yes, where the Gasco used to be.
They've had a couple of,
Exactly.
they've had a couple of violations in the last few years, is that correct?
I believe so, but the license was still in good standing, and as I mentioned again, at about this time last year, the board had approved the transfer, but then it was sent back by the ABCC because they preferred to have it as an LLC as opposed to just doing it as a straight transfer to a partnership.
So if I ask you, what's the urgency to get this transferred this week, this day, versus waiting a month and getting your father here, what would you say?
I think it's just to be able to get because the sale has been done, and per our conversations from the ABCC, they had also mentioned that the sooner that we can be able to go through this process, the sooner that they can be able to review and be able to hopefully sign off on the application.
So based on that, I mean, yeah, I'd like to have all parties here, but in this case, I get it, I understand they need someone there to run the store, and the new license holder, owner, has some experience, I guess, without doing the research. So I have I have an issue making a motion to approve, but I'm going to go ahead and do it this time because you sound very sincere. You seem like it's your dad. You live at home.
Yeah.
You don't seem like you're trying to pull the wool over our eyes. And I think you guys are, with the new ownership, maybe we're better off versus violations if dad just had so much going on. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the transfer. And whatever my colleagues decide, it's up to them.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, we were trying to kind of just be as straightforward and honest as
Understood.
possible.
Thank you.
I will vote to second the motion.
To be recorded as being present.
The motion to transfer, the application to transfer the malt wine package store license of Natasha LLC, DBA The Breadbasket Discount Store, for transfer to be exercised at the same location to hours of operation to remain the same. The license from Shared Shah is transferred to Maruri Patel, manager. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Item number 6, Suntornut, Inc., DBA Rice Passions, 165 Squire Road, Piawan Thamanthorn. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, the manager. This is an application for transfer of an all-alcohol restaurant license. The to be transferred from Mekatai LLC. Said license to be exercised at the same location. The hours of operation to be Sunday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Seating to remain at 50.
I have 11 to 11. What do you have Saturday, 11 to 11? I don't know.
Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Is that what I said?
No.
I'm sorry. 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sorry about that. And the seating to remain at 50.
Yes.
Your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Theodore Sinton at address 58 Maple Street in Malden, Massachusetts.
Very good, sir. And what are your plans for this restaurant and this location?
We took over Mekatai and planning to reopen under our Rice Passion's name and remain the same menu and everything the same.
Going to keep the same menu?
Yeah, we updated the menu, but we still selling Thai.
But the same type of
Thai
food?
food, yeah.
Very good. Are there any questions from my fellow commissioners?
So who's Mekatai? Mekatai. They're transferring their license to you. Are they here?
No.
He's not.
They're not here either.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not voting for it.
Interesting. But they're transferring not only the whole establishment, they're basically selling you the business.
They sold the business.
Gotcha. So and everything's staying the same, hours of operation for the most part, seating. And are these people, are this family, or is this people you know, or was this what type of transaction was this? Was this,
My,
Private,
yeah.
third party.
okay, so you never met, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So right now, is that establishment still open?
It's not, it's closed.
How long has it been down for?
Since November.
Okay, so it's been down since November. Okay, gotcha. So they're out of the business. Okay, they're just transferring. Okay, gotcha. Oh. All right, so the other question, so do you currently have other businesses or restaurants? Or is this your first time around?
Well, this is my first time my own business, but I'm working in the restaurant for years.
Okay, this is a full alcohol license, I believe, right?
It is, yes.
So in terms of experience running a full alcohol establishment, serving customers and all, tell me a little bit about that side of your experience.
Mr. Piowan going to be a manager of the alcohol serving.
Okay.
She's trained, and she was working in the restaurant that's serving alcohol for 10 years.
It's nothing I can.
Like we attached their.
Yeah, since we attached the paper, she's been working in the different restaurant for the last 10 years. And she has a lot of experience in service.
Okay. Let's see. So you've been, so you have experience, you were managing a restaurant for 10 years? A full liquor? Okay. Full serve, okay.
And which restaurant was that? I'm looking at the employment history of Piowan. Is that you, sir?
That's
I'm sorry. So, House of Siam.
Yeah, House of
Did that-
Siam.
What did you do there?
I'm work in the kitchen.
And did they have alcohol service at the House of Siam?
Yeah, they have beer and wine.
Now, did you have anything to do with the service of that, or were you cooking?
I'm cooking.
And will you be having anything to do with the service of beer and wine at Rice Passion, or will you be cooking?
I'm cooking.
You'll be cooking? Yeah. Okay. So who will be dealing as far as with the beer and wine and the bar aspect of the business?
It's going to be me.
You'll be dealing with that? Do you have any experience in dealing with that type of establishment?
Yes.
And where was that?
In Similan, the Similans in Cambridge.
I'm sorry?
Cambridge?
It's called the Siemens Thai restaurant in Cambridge on First Street, yeah.
Now, are you tip certified?
The certified is here,
They have it.
yeah.
May I? Okay, great. Is that a tip certification?
Is it a tips?
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's okay. Thank you. Are there any other questions?
No, unfortunately, at this time, I will again vote present. I understand you were asked to bring both parties who were supposed to appear here today, and the party who you're asking for the transfer from is not here. Therefore, I'm not comfortable voting on this issue, so I'll leave that up to my councils. I think if you were requested to have the party in here, who is the alcohol that owns the license, they should have been here if it was that important to them. So therefore, I won't transfer any licenses without both parties here. And I know they signed the papers, and I agree with that, but I would rather have it on tape. I speak with them, and I make sure that no last-minute issues come up before you show up. You know, you could sign the papers a month ago. We bring it up this month. In the meantime, something transpires. So I will leave this issue up to my colleagues. Only because it was requested, and for some reason...
Well,
Commissioner?
Well, I guess that's a concern for me, because, yeah, but they're out of business, it looks like, the existing license
But
holder.
I think, Commissioner, excuse me, I
Sure.
think that if the commission requests something from a license holder, I would ask for their respect and return, and, you know.
So let me ask you this, did you ask them to accompany you, or no?
I'm not aware that they had to come, sorry.
So there's a communication breakdown.
Yeah, I had the request and all that.
Did you tell them?
That username.
They were specifically told they had to.
These
Maggie
people here?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Lewis was...
And he refused to come, so.
Oh, the other owner?
The previous one.
Yeah, the actual owner, but did they know, did they know they had to bring him? That's my question.
Well, if he doesn't want to come, it's almost...
Okay, no, I'm just trying to understand, because if they didn't know, I don't want to fault them. You follow me? But I'm just saying, I'm not saying I'm making a decision here.
Have you already executed the sale of this business?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I understand you're not comfortable with that, but I'm going to make a motion to approve the transfer.
So I gotta ask, so you weren't aware that they had to come, even though he was told by Maggie?
We had this letter.
All right, so he didn't communicate that to you, unfortunately.
We didn't, sorry.
That's wrong of him. He should have told you, which is wrong. I hate to slow things down for you guys. You want to get your business started.
Yes.
So aside from that part of it, the experience part concerns me a little bit. I don't have that warm and cushy right now, that because you have not managed or owned a full liquor establishment before. This is your first go at it, correct?
Correct.
So that's more a concern with them not being here, to be honest with you, because they can just bring them in real quick, and they could have no experience, and that it doesn't matter. But my concern is so you've worked in an establishment in Cambridge for how long?
Like 5 years.
5 years. And were you managing the bar? Were you managing the restaurant? Were you managing the whole thing, or what was your?
I am service managing, so I'm running now, and communicate with the people who order catering.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm mostly in and out, front and back. So.
Were you ordering stock, liquor stock? Were you
inventory? Stock, yeah.
Managing patrons, and because that whole there's a lot of pieces of a restaurant, right? There's the restaurant, the food, the ordering, the so forth and so on. So to me, that's going to be your job right now. It's going to be doing everything, correct?
Correct.
And you haven't done that before, but you have to. There's always a first time for everything.
First time for the owner, yes.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem giving people a chance. So I guess 5 years. I'm not going to fault you for them not being here. It's more my
Commissioner,
So-
I guess one of the questions too is if the other party was here,
correct.
I would be asking, when did he shut down? Why did he not notify the board that he did shut down? And how long has it been closed? And have you been re-inspected since that closing of that establishment?
Good point, good point.
Department come by, right?
And those are the questions, when we have both parties here, we can clarify. He should have notified the board to begin with that he was shutting down.
Correct.
That's number one. Okay, so, again, I have a lot of questions, but would be for the other party.
So-
And how the place was left. I have no idea what that establishment looks like and why he vacated.
So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
He had to shut down the business because every employee left on the end of that month. Because the owner told every employee that they're going to sell his restaurant, but it's not me, it's just somebody else before. But so they just told the employees just file their job and then left
So how long has it been empty?
since in November.
But the health department come by.
Since November.
No, I'm sorry.
The health department come by.
Yeah, before that they have the issue with the health department.
No,
No,
not issue. They come by.
labor. And yeah, health department come by yesterday.
And then there's a-
Thank you. I have a problem with the old license holder, basically disregarding, the wishes of the commission to be here, and I feel it's not really right for us to be punishing these folks because he's not here. This gentleman does have the tip certification. They do have a requisite number of experience, in my mind, to run the place. The lady has been a cook. So I really feel fairly comfortable with this, and I hope that you guys really are successful there. So that's why I'm comfortable in, again, making the motion to approve your license. Is there a second?
One question, so ma'am, what would be our involvement?
No, I'm from, my name is Minta Lim, I'm from Attorney Pilgrim's office.
I'm sorry?
It's an attorney.
From attorney.
Oh, you're an attorney. Oh, okay.
Attorneys.
All right, didn't know that. Okay, sorry. So, yeah, again, I agree with my colleagues, both of them, both valid points. I don't believe you should be punished for them, especially when you're not aware that they had to be here. Shame on them for not coming when they were told to come, and they want to sell their business. So, however, I hate to slow down. Again, I don't have that warm and fuzzy that you're ready, but then again, you got to start somewhere. I'm a true believer. So based on that, I'm going to second the motion and give you guys a chance. And if there's any issues, I'm sure you'll be in front of us. Hopefully there's not. So I believe you guys look sincere and capable of doing it. So best of luck.
Would you like to record it?
Thank you.
I would like to be recorded as being opposed, and I also would like to make sure that the Board of Health does go down, inspect the business since it's been vacated. We have no idea how long it was vacated and why the license holder didn't show up, and I think he should be penalized. He wants to sell. We should hold him up. I know the sale's gone through, but I would like to see, as any new license, all inspections done. That's fire, Board of Health, where that's been shut down. I have no idea what the conditions are there. But I would be recorded as being opposed, only because of those issues.
The application for transfer of the all-alcohol restaurant license of Santonut, Inc., DBA Rice Passions at 163 Squire Road, to transfer an all-alcohol restaurant license from Mekatai. That license is to be exercised at the same location. The hours of operation are to be Sunday, 11 p.m. to 10 p.m., Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. The seating to remain at 50, and that license is transferred and approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much and good luck. Item number 7 is a hearing. Cinco de Mayo 2, DBA Pancho Villa Mexican Grill, 124 Centennial Avenue. Jose Chino, manager. Hearing concerning fire and safety violations, specifically failure to provide a crowd manager and failure to maintain the required fire and building safety checklist. Your name and address for the record, please.
Madeline Rodriguez, the daughter of Jose Chino Rodriguez, the owner.
So again, we don't have the license holder here.
No, my father's actually in the hospital right now.
You are the daughter of the license holder,
Yes,
and your father is in the hospital.
yes, he is.
Very good. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions to begin?
Well, I guess my first question, before again, I will excuse myself. Were you there at the time of the incident?
Yes, I was there.
You were there. Was your father there?
No, he hasn't been able to show up at the restaurant because he was an alcoholic, so now he doesn't want to be in an establishment where he sees alcohol.
So why haven't you made a change of manager?
Because he has been off and on. He wasn't able to speak for a while. He just had surgery in his throat. They found a tumor, so he wasn't able to speak. And now he had a falling, and now he's in the emergency room right now.
So then he's not on the premises at all? There's no manager there?
I'm the only manager in there, as
On
his
record,
daughter.
there is no manager on record
No.
at this time. That's in the establishment.
Mhm.
Have you had, I'm sorry, Commissioner, do you have any questions?
Not yet, not yet.
Have you had an opportunity to hire a crowd manager?
I actually took out my crowd management
You're the
license.
crowd manager.
Yes.
Have you gotten a certificate to indicate that you have
Yes.
crowd management training?
Yes.
Have that been presented? Do you have a copy of that?
I actually haven't been able to print it out. My kids broke my printer, so I haven't been able to print it out. But I do have the license.
Now, according to the report of this incident, there was a fog machine in effect which tripped the fire alarm, is that correct?
Yes.
And then you were on the premises, were instructed to to stop using the fire alarm.
Myself, the fire department that went in actually didn't speak to me and told me not to use it again, but they actually spoke to the DJ. And we told him not to use it, so he shut it off. And because one of the customers was speaking and trying to amp the crowd, because it was the Halloween party, we were trying to give the reward for the best Halloween costume. And he put the fog machine without knowing, thinking that it was allowed. So we actually fired our DJ because he allowed it. We fired him at that moment and we dismissed him.
My question would be, if you were the manager that night, right? And the fire department came in, correct?
Yes.
And they didn't speak to you?
They spoke to me at the beginning when they came in, what was going on. We told them what was going on. It was the fog machine. He's like, all right, let me check the premises. He checked all around, and then he went towards the DJ, had a little bit of word, and he just told us, all right, everything's okay, and left. And then they came back the second time, and that's when the main fire chief inspector came in and told us what was gonna happen to us, and I told him, okay. I wasn't going to argue with him, and I just, whatever he told me, and I said, okay. He told me about the crowd management license probably a week or 2 weeks later that I had to have, which I did not know that I had to need the crowd management license.
Well, it seems as if there's somewhat of a lack of management there, in that the fire department comes and they're speaking to the DJ, and they're not, it doesn't seem as if you are in control of this place. Help me out here. Do you have security? What's the
We have
situation?
security. At that moment, we were having the security at the perimeters. We were trying to see the people that we were escorting out. So I was trying to help the security, trying to escort everybody outside. We were trying to see certain customers were trying to pay off. So I was helping the waitresses at that moment, doing transactions with credit cards. Money-wise, everybody was going crazy at that moment, and I was just trying for nobody to get out with any beverages, because I know a lot of people like to take advantage of that moment. So while I was at the door trying to see if everybody was okay, escorting everybody, I had the security outside, one inside and one outside, trying to help out the crowd outside and the crowd inside.
Now, can you tell me if you had another incident over the weekend?
No, we haven't.
You've had no other incidents?
No, we haven't.
No police calls to that establishment over the weekend? Or?
When I ran the report from last week, I didn't see anything.
What steps have you taken since this incident to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen again?
Oh, I took off the fog machine. Once that happened, I took it off and I threw it in the trash. That would never happen again. We just try to amp the people, have a good time with the customers. Everybody was having fun, eating, having a couple of drinks. Everybody's in costumes. And then that incident happened, and it will never happen again.
If these types of incidents continue, we do have the authority to restrict your hours and to start rolling you back to where a more manageable time if you show that you can't manage the time that you're currently open.
I really don't come in here often. If we have an incident, it's an incident that, I handle. I'm very strict with the door, especially with my security guards, liquor. Anything that happens in there, I'm very, very responsible with all that. The crowd management, I did not know about that. That's my fault for not checking in, but I have taken out the license.
Very good. Lieutenant, have there been any issues that we need to be aware of here besides this one?
Not other than, normal issues that every bar in the city has at one time or another. No, it doesn't really stand out. There were some noise concerns in the past that have been addressed. And Ms. Rodriguez, she's been pretty helpful, when we have any
other
sort of
situations?
situation or problem. Yeah, I've done periodic spot checks in the place and haven't found any problems during those.
Thank you. Any questions?
So they're here because of the two calls to the fire department due to the fog machine?
Yes.
But they're not here for other
No.
reasons, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right, that's
Commissioner.
correct.
Okay. And that's been rectified as far as you know? You got rid of the fog machine?
Oh, yes, I took it out myself
You
and
got
I
your
threw it in the trash.
crowd control certification?
Yes.
And you'll get that to,
Yes, I will take
Maggie.
that in tomorrow once
Okay.
I buy the new printer.
okay.
And once my father is better and he's able to walk, I will bring him into the office and so he could sign me off.
Sign, the transfer?
Transfer me to the management and to the
Okay.
establishment.
You will become manager, permanent manager on record?
On record, yes.
So that would have to come in front of us?
Yes.
Okay. That would have
She's
to come
going to
in
wait till her dad
Yes,
gets out of the hospital.
I've always been the one who's always been in front of you guys, and I've always been able to speak with you. My father's
But it should be
English
the
is not too
manager.
much.
It's supposed to be the manager on
I know,
record.
sometimes he's here speaking,
Yeah.
but lately with everything he's been going through, it's been very hard for him to even
Right.
be here.
So when he feels better,
Yes, once he
straighten
feels
that out.
better, we actually were trying to come this week, but he had the falling and he's been in the hospital.
Okay. But that's important to get that done
Oh,
because he's
yes.
really the one that's responsible.
Yeah, I told him a couple of times, and he's like, we have to do it, we have to do it. And every time we try, there's always something happening with him.
I'm good.
Have we addressed
I think so.
well, I guess we could continue this,
Well, I would just probably place it on file, as long as, at fire department, we take very serious. Overcrowding is a serious problem.
No, I've taken the course, I already know what I have to do, have everything free for customers to be able to evacuate the parking lot. We always put salt for no one to get hurt.
But I think by placing it on file, should this incident happen again, we can bring that back up
Yes.
again. So it would be the two violations being addressed.
Okay.
No fog machine? No fog machine?
No fog machine, no, that's in the trash.
very good. So we'll keep the matter on file and
Any
hopefully.
proponents or, any
pardon me?
proponents? Any proponents? or-
Are there any other any proponents or hearing and seeing none? Are there any opponents? Anybody else like to speak on behalf or against the Cinco de Mayo? Hearing and seeing none, we will go with that, and we're going to keep this matter on file, and hopefully we won't see you here again.
Yes.
Outside of the change of management. Change of
Outside
Oh,
of the
yes.
change of management.
Yes,
Thank you very
yes,
much.
That's a good
Thank you.
thing.
All right. Thank you.
I don't know what.
Item number 8, CBW Lending LLC. We have been asked to continue this, Counselor. Name and address for the record.
Mr. Chairman, good afternoon, members. James Cipolletta, 385 Broadway, Revere, on behalf of CBW.
Thank you very much, Counselor. My understanding is that there has been some negotiations ongoing, and so we're going to continue this matter and let those negotiations play out. One thing that I did want to say, though, after your last appearance here, 2 days later, the lot was jammed full of cars. And that really, I felt, violated the spirit of what we had talked about just 2 days prior. So, and that was the reason why we asked you to come back here. Basically, was because we didn't feel as if that was a good faith effort on your client's part. And so I just want to say that for the record.
I do understand, and Councilor Powers brought that to my attention, as did someone else within the week. That was a situation with one of the contract rent-a-car companies, and that has been rectified. It happened very soon, I think within the same week, if I recall. And Mr. Tuttle had called me to say that he was aware of it. And I also had asked him, because I was curious as to, I think Commissioner Guanasso mentioned that there was somebody sitting out there in the lawn chair, looked like they were collecting money, and I asked because I thought it was a pretty interesting question. That person was there to make sure that random people didn't come into the lot and park for free or go somewhere else. That was sort of like a crowd management situation or parking management. They weren't collecting money, and it wasn't me.
They weren't collecting money?
They were not
Had
collecting.
a nice apron on.
It's my retirement job.
I went in.
Thank you very much, Counselor.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 9, a board discussion regarding closing hours for New Year's Eve.
Okay, I think in the past, we've always given them that extra hour, not for alcohol, but we've always given them that continental breakfast time from 1 to 2 o'clock, and they can serve coffee and...
That's right, that's right.
So would we extend the hours for an hour, or is that anything that...
I'm in favor of giving them that extra hour, and I think what it does, that extra hour on New Year's Eve, it kind of staggers the traffic. Some places are letting out at 1 o'clock, others stay a little, so it's not everybody leaving at once. So I think the 2 o'clock, it seems to have worked out well. I don't think we've ever had a problem, but...
Lieutenant, have we had any problems with this type of thing in the past?
It's traditionally, it's happened for years. They extend it for an hour, and we haven't had any problems because of it.
Very good. So would we extend all liquor licenses for 1 hour?
From 2 to 3?
Well, yeah, I mean, if
Oh, I'm
you have
sorry, I'm thinking it's a 1 o'clock license. Oh, you're talking 2 to 3 o'clock. Oh, I forgot about that.
So that time between 2 and 3, they're not going to still serve. We're talking just...
It's just a continental breakfast. They're allowed to bring in pastries and coffee.
Yeah, but everything else stays the same. We're going to be shutting down 1:30, right? People stop serving at 1:30, or is that...
As far as the alcohol,
Yes.
it's exactly the same.
Exactly the
It's
same.
just giving them...
All the alcohol rules apply. They shut down the same time, they stop
So
serving.
the alcohol has to be out the bar at the same time?
They don't have to
Everything-
empty the building at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
They can
stay
stay
on the
on the
premises
premises
till
till
3.
3.
Very good.
But
Okay.
nothing as far as alcohol service changes.
Good. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And you don't want...
Very good. So the motion would be to allow licensed establishments to stay open an extra hour and allow patrons to be on the premises for an extra hour on New Year's Eve. However, all alcohol service regulations will remain as they have been for the 364 other days of the year. Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
Very good. I will make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
The motion carries. Now we have some business, end-of-year business to attend to. The license renewals for the year. Anybody interested in seeing every establishment that has been renewed so far can go to revere.org. And in the boards and commissions section, go to our agenda, which is attached to the License Commission page, and you'll see all of the establishments that have been renewed. They are all alcohol licenses and every other license that the city has in effect. So what we are going to do is we're going to look through this list quickly and then approve it en masse, all 8 pages, unless someone has a particular issue with something that you see on a particular page.
I've gone through all renewals, and I'm satisfied with the renewal of these applicants.
I have also gone through these, and I am satisfied. Commissioner?
Yeah, I don't see any establishment that I have questions for, so I'll approve all the renewals for 2018.
Very good. The licenses have been approved. To see exactly which ones they are, you can go to revere.org, boards and commissions, under agenda, and you'll see what has been attached and approved. The final matter are communications. We have a communication notice from the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission approving a change of beneficial interest for NAI Entertainment Holdings, LLC, DBA Showcase Cinemas Revere, Chatters Bar. And that is the only communication. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I would like to just at this time wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and a very healthy New Year.
Our next meeting is January 17th,
2018.
2018. I hope everybody has a healthy and happy New Year.
Yep, likewise.
Motion to
Enjoy.
adjourn?
Be safe.
The motion to adjourn is seconded. The meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.